Dionisio at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Swakowski, the big right-hander, lets it go. It's right down Broadway. Dionisio lets it fly, and it's raining now.
It's time for Rain Delay Theater with Jeremy Dionisio and Jack Swakowski.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Rain Delay Theater, the podcast where two bums talk about other bums at baseball games. I'm Jack Swakowski.
And I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
We have a bit of a shorter episode for you this week after a few longer ones that we do in January and early February. Just going to catch up on some sort of goofy things that happened over the last week, of which there were a few. And just wasn't enough time to talk about them on the Worst of Fame or, well, specifically the Sox podcast or anything else we've done. So this is a good opportunity for us to just kind of talk about some of these things at length, some of which involve the White Sox, and, just kind of laugh about them and have a fun time.
I think, so a couple of these things are old. I feel like this is a little bit of an older news at this point.
Yep.
But, Mune Murakami, reported to spring training with the rest of the White Sox. And, if you haven't seen this by now, but he it was himself. When I saw the picture, I was really hoping it was like someone else posted it, but it was him. He himself posted it on his Instagram. A picture of his locker nameplate. And what did they misspelled his first name, right?
They did. So instead of Munataka, they spelled it Munataki.
Yeah, Munataki Murakami. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think he posted he just wrote like an emoji, like maybe like a sad face emoji or a crying emoji or something.
It was the thinking one where the guy the emoji has his like hand on his chin.
Yeah, right. Oh God, which that almost makes it read like he's like rethinking his decision to sign with the White Sox.
Sure.
That was so bad.
Yeah.
Also so White Sox, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a perfect introduction to being with their franchise. Nothing is going to prepare the guy more for when he looks up on the scoreboard during a game and he's at bat, and he sees that the scoreboard says he's from Nashville, Tennessee, and that he was drafted in the 5th round out of South Dakota State. That's just how the White Sox do their scoreboard, man. You never know what's going to be accurate or not. So what better introduction for this guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about NPB to know if there's a White Sox, equivalent in NPB. But I hope he understands it for the sake of the city of Chicago, I guess.
Sure.
That's what a freaking horrible way to start off the relationship. Just so crazy.
It is, and to his credit, he took it in stride and thought it was funny. And initially when he posted that one, he said he thought it was hilarious, and then they fixed it, right away, and then he gave the thumbs up emoji. So at least he's been a good sport about it. And this was one of the two things that Chris Getz ended up having to apologize for that week.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there was that. And then I guess the next thing was there's a super cut. I didn't really get the aftermath of this, Jack. So maybe you know it more than me, but there was a super cut of clips of Chris Getz, at least 5 or 6 different clips from different locations, different occasions, different days, where he's talking about the trade of Luis Robert to the Mets, and he talked about Luis Angel Acuna, talking about that he's a switch hitter, listing off he's a great young guy, great defense, great hit contact, switch hitter, and he's not a switch hitter.
No.
And I think the one that I saw was White Sox GM thinks Luis Acuna is a switch hitter.
Yep.
And one of those clips was from Sox Fest, that snooze fest of a GM manager segment that they did.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get away with that one because there's no way anybody was paying attention to that. So maybe somebody went back and watched it after he said the first few. I don't know, but we were literally in the room when he did that one, and we didn't even pick up on it.
I know, yeah. At least our excuse is at least that we were like angling for autographs or something. But
Right.
they're, I'll talk about White Sox stuff here in a second. But like, probably should have been some people in that room who should have known that Acuna isn't a switch hitter.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's that one like so that one is like I would almost like let go, except for the fact that like he said it so many times. Like it really was like 5 or 6 different clips.
So people were joking about that he thought he actually traded for Ronnie Maurizio, who is a switch hitter and is also an infielder like Luis Angel Acuna. But there's no way that Chris Getz could have actually thought that. So the aftermath of that, Jeremy, was that I think it was either today or yesterday. He said, Luis, he can play every position on the diamond, so why stop there? I called him and said, Luis, I know you're just a right-handed hitter, but we still love you. That was like his official quote to the media.
Nice. Yeah, that's at least that that helps a little bit, I guess. But yeah, I was trying to remember. I remember there being like a thing where like a team traded for the wrong guy, and it was the White Sox.
Was it?
Yeah, 1990. The White Sox intended to trade a Class A right-hander. Or maybe they traded the wrong guy away. No, they attempted to trade for Class A right-hander Jonathan Berry, but ended up with Barry Manuel instead, due to a miscommunication between teams. So I remember hearing that story at some point. So there's precedent for it within the organization. So that's not good.
It's like a more things change, more they stay the same sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, a couple of not great looks about the White Sox. Now, I preface all this by saying, like, Jack, it's been since White Sox Fest, I think. Maybe it's just going to a White Sox Fest and just being around, like, White Sox fans, like, legitimate White Sox. I feel like the people who go to these fan conventions are, like, the most loyal of fans, regardless of what team it is. And maybe it's just been the guilt around being around so many of them, except for, I'm a grosso. But like, I don't know, Jack, I think like, maybe it's good to have like, you make New Year's resolutions every year. I don't know. I feel like I'm meeting too many like White Sox people, or I'm like being reminded of too many like, because none of my friends are White Sox fans really. So like, I don't know. It's like now we have, friends with Chris. I know Chris's dad listened to our podcast recently. We ran into my friend Sarah, who's like a cool person. I'm like I feel like I need to like take it easy on the White Sox a little bit. I don't know. That's a huge shift for the podcast. So I don't know if I can say it definitively or not, but I've been feeling more guilt in recent weeks and months, I guess.
Sure. Well, I've never disliked the White Sox, mainly because, I'm a Brewers fan and I didn't grow up here, and the Brewers are no longer in the American League. So I really, really have nothing against the Sox. And I really didn't have anything against Chris Getz. Yeah. Like the guy's, he has an impossible task to try to rebuild this team and win with Jerry Reinsdorf still as the owner. But it's just like they keep shooting themselves in the foot every chance they get. Like you're trying to root for this team, or at least just not make fun of them, and they continue to do stuff like this.
Yeah, I bet Chris, if he was on the podcast, and maybe we will have him on this year, like would probably say like, no, they deserve all of it. Like the organization certainly is not. It's certainly deserving of a lot of its criticism. It's weird. This is a whole like deeper conversation here, but I always feel like the White Sox. I feel like maybe I've even said it on the podcast in recent years, but like I was always like, I'm like an alternative rock guy. Like I'm like a counterculture type of guy. I like lesser like popular things, whatever. And like I do feel like the White Sox is the team for a person that matches that description. Like they're the alternative to the Cubs. Not the only thing about it is that the Cubs were like the Cubs were so bad for so many years also. So it's like they were just more beloved than the White Sox, and mostly it's because of WGN, I think. So that whole thing like really is very complex, and it was really White Sox fans who were like kind of like known to be more particular, like kind of like curmudgeonly stubborn like about like being in the shadow of the White Sox, of being in the shadow of the Cubs. So it's almost like a flip on its head in a way. But you know, I don't know. It's just I will say this, Jack, and you would agree with me, and we've talked about it as much on the podcast. But it's like if the White Sox were not in the city anymore, that would majorly suck.
Yes.
It's amazing to have two teams in the city and to be able to, you could go to a Major League Baseball game like almost every day if you want, and if you had like the time and the resources. So like that is awesome. And like, you know, if this, we trash the Sox, ultimately what this leads to is them moving to like Nashville or something. And that would majorly suck if they ever left the city. So
It would. And I don't know like where they're at with all that, but I really just want Justin Ishbia to take over the team before Jerry Reinsdorf can move them somewhere. Maybe that's no longer even a discussion, because I think that there is some kind of succession plan in place that I don't know the details of. But once Jerry Reinsdorf no longer owns the White Sox, I think they might have a chance of actually being exciting.
For sure. Hopefully it's not a succession plan like the show Succession, which is not,
right.
a clear plan. But yeah, like you know, I'm sure everyone kind of wants that to happen and just to see what'll happen next. So yeah, it's just but it is. There's always something that pops up, and yeah, I don't know. It's fun, but I know that that there are people, you know, who I know now who like are White Sox fans, so I try to keep that in mind now when I go hard on the team.
Yeah, sure, and yeah, Jeremy, like you said, it would suck. The only thing that sucks about going to a White Sox game is for us guys who live on the north side, it's just such a hassle to get there and back, specifically to get back.
Yeah, the red line.
It's not good. But the tickets are so accessible. They're so cheap. I mean, you know, there's going to be tickets available for $8 this year. You can't beat that. Especially, I'm not looking forward to seeing what those Cubs prices are going to be. So, who knows? Maybe this year we'll actually go to a few more White Sox games than we've been to in previous seasons, especially just because the Cubs are going to be pretty damn pricey.
Yeah, man, if only we could find like a free place to park for the White Sox. That would be such a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. We should probably just factor in. And when you say $8, Jack, I think we can get it even cheaper. You know, we've always gotten in cheaper for White Sox games, so I think we should be able to get in cheaper than $8. But
sure.
Maybe we should start building in, like, cost of, like, parking or something into, like, the ticket price, and just to make it a little easier. But yeah, you know, it's that's just it's just the one catch of all of this stuff. So but yeah, so anyway, there will be plenty more White Sox. We have our over-unders, you know, episode coming up. We already have discussed some over-unders for White Sox, so that'll be more opportunities there to talk about the outlooks about the franchise.
Heck yeah. There was one other funny thing that dropped. I think it was Thursday night, maybe Friday. The whole Nick Castellanos Phillies relationship, marriage ended in divorce. I think that was literally the title of the athletic story. Mm-hmm. But it came out that in a game in Miami last year, Nick Castellanos got removed from the game for defense late in the game, and he was pissed about that because he had family there, and so he came back into the dugout with a beer and sat right next to Rob Thompson. And then, you know, I guess Schwarber and Real Muto got the beer out of his hands before they could show it on camera. But I remember reading about that. They didn't have the beer in the story at that point, but that Castellanos and Rob Thompson, you know, had words after he benched Castellanos. And then he sat the next night, and I think that may have ended his consecutive game streak, because I think he played 162 in 2024. So that was a big deal when it happened. It was interesting to get more details about that, which came out basically as the Phillies cut him.
That's interesting, and the whole thing about it, I actually read that article. I felt like some kind of like baseball mover and shaker, because I was reading it at the gym, like when I was on the treadmill. But it was like it seems weird to me, because like the first thing I saw was like, you know, Nick Castellanos told not to report to spring training. Yep. So it's like, why did they do that then and not like in December or October, like, or whenever? Like, why did they wait till like, did they not decide on it until that point? Like, maybe they were trying to trade him, I guess.
That's the only thing I can think of, is that they were trying to find anyone who would take him, and they just couldn't find anybody.
Yeah, I'm sure that word got out about that incident across the league, so it probably kind of tarnished his reputation. He did end up signing with the Padres, so he's probably in Padres camp. By the time we're listening to this, he's probably in Peoria, which I won't be this year, which I've mentioned 5 times already. But yeah, so yeah, he's already caught on with somebody else. But yeah, the story was pretty wild, and yeah, it's kind of crazy how it like dated back to like when he signed with the team. Like it was kind of like there was like turmoil, during all of his years there. And yeah, Jack? Did you see the clip of Schwarber like being asked about it?
I read about it in The Athletic, and I read his quotes, but people were actually talking about it in the comments. They're like, yeah, if you actually watch the clip, like, he seems like he's at a loss for words. So no, I did not. But was that accurate? Would you say?
Oof. It was cringy, like, to say the least. To watch it, he's just like, he sounds like a kid who just got caught, like, cheating on a test or like whatever, doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. He's just like, we did what we do, and we tried to win. Like it was just it's awkward, and like I don't know like what he probably should have just said, like, hey, I don't feel comfortable talking about it or something.
Sure.
But it was rough to watch. I guess so that was quoted in the Athletic article, like that interview.
It might have been a later story. Like, I think so. So there was maybe the one you read. Then there was one that came out yesterday that was about like, regardless of like whatever, the Phillies still have to eat $20 million from Castellanos. And I think Schwarber was quoted in that article. But it's the thing where he's like, yeah, well, it is what it is, right? And I felt like he kept being quoted as saying the word right. Like he would say something and then say right. Was he doing that?
Yeah, he was. Now that I think about it. Yeah. That makes sense because it felt like an article that took place, or an interview that took place after that article dropped, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know, did you read Nick Castellanos' Instagram post about the whole thing?
No, I heard that he like took ownership of it or something.
He did, and I mean he admitted to everything, but the funniest part for me was when he said, I came back into the dugout with a Presidente. Like he didn't even say it was a beer, he just said with a Presidente, which I've never had that like brand of beer before, but it's hilarious that he specified what he was drinking, and also like what a god tier red ass move it is to like get removed from the game and be so pissed that you come into the dugout with a beer. Like that's I understand it, but like that's I understand why it was inappropriate, but that's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's almost like it's like in a movie, like like a Lifetime movie, like the drunk abusive guy or something comes back with a beer in his hand, like trying to start trouble. It's like, did he get removed from the game and then instantly become drunk and then like wandered into the dugout and starts yelling at Rob Thompson? Like, it's like, hey, you kicked me out of the game, fuck you, Thompson, or whatever. Like, it's like he was just on the field, probably. He was just like, at bat probably like 5 minutes ago, and now he's got a beer and he's like abusing the coach. Like, what the hell? What? It's such a comical just visual to think about.
It is, and the guy's whole career, and he's been playing a long time. His rookie year might have been 2014, but like he's been a terrible defender his whole career. Everybody knows it. If his family was in the stands, his family knows it. Everybody knows that he's not good at defense. Like they paid you $100 million. They play you every single game. Like have a little bit of self-awareness.
Yeah, I had to reread the article because initially when I read it, I thought that he was removed for like dogging it, but he was just a defensive replacement at the end of the game. So like, or like, I don't know what point in the game, but like it, it just is all goofy. It's just, it's silly.
Couldn't have happened to a more perfect guy, I don't think.
Yeah, for sure. He was kind of, it's funny because did that incident happen before or after we had our interaction with him at the bus?
Ooh, I don't know, because we would have to look when that happened and then when the Phillies came to Chicago. That's a great question. Okay,
yeah, I'm trying to see if I can pull up the Cubs schedule, because so if you recall, like, I think it was Getaway Day, and we were trying to get Castellanos, and I asked him for his autograph, and he said like, sorry, I can't do it, like, you know, I'm out of time or something, or, you know, we're leaving. And I said like, next time? And he's like, yeah, next time or something.
Yeah, what was the best part about that though was that, you know, because we were kind of following him onto the bus, and he was like, you know, we were on the other side of the barricade, but we were walking with him, and you were like, next time? He's like, next time. And you're like, all right, thanks. And he's like, yep, thanks. Like, he thanked us. It was it was an interesting interaction.
Why can't I find the friggin' when the Phillies were I have them like at the Phillies, but I can't find when the Phillies were in town. I feel like it was in the second half of the season.
Yeah, it was definitely in the second half.
Yeah, why the hell can't I find it? This stupid schedule. Well, yeah, I don't know, but that it's, you know, again, just with our goofy you know, like orchestrated interactions with players, it's funny to think about the context of those in the context of these other things that are going on. The
Yes.
Luis Ortiz's situations, the Castellanos situations, the C.J. Abrams
CB
situations.
Abrams, yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be one next year.
Yeah, right. That maybe we should put that on an over under.
We should.
Like you know, we saw it when over under. But
Yes.
yeah. Okay, cool. So that's that. Spring training is underway at this point, and you know, we're inching towards the season. We, you know, on the podcast as well. We've done some of our classic episodes. Jack, Top Series 1 came out last week as well. Always a big indicator of the off season getting closer to an end and coming to a beginning. So yeah, I got a hobby box of Top Series 1 in the mail, and cards look cool. Cards are like, they're pretty like saturated, like in color, like the names are big, the positions are big, like, you know, nice white border. They look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about them. Jack, did you get a chance to get any of these yet?
I haven't. I was actually, you know, because I have Friday off. I was like, I wonder if Ronnie would have any at his shop. What do you think?
I mean, he has. I didn't go in there. I went in there last week and I was buying some packs. So
Okay. You got boxes?
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Okay,
I didn't really clock it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that he does. I have a pack. I just went to Target actually, and I found some. So I'm gonna live open a pack on the air here.
Yeah, do it.
But I know it's a visual podcast here, but let me see what we got. I haven't opened any retail yet. I've only opened hobby packs. But okay, got a Jonah Tong rookie card.
Okay.
That's pretty nice. It's one to hopefully get signed. Paul Skeens, that's good.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, this is good. I'm building a set as I normally do, and I actually need all these first two cards, so that's good. Jonathan India and the Royals.
All right.
Sean Manaea, who
Okay.
I saw some guy breaking these cards, and they pulled a Sean Manaea, and they called him something like, it's not the Flying Hawaiian, but it was something to do with Hawaiian and being a pitcher.
I think, yeah, I mean, he is Hawaiian. I think he's from, like, Indiana or something, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which is strange. You wouldn't think of him being from Indiana. He doesn't seem like, I don't know, doesn't seem like he'd be from Indiana.
I got to find out what that nickname was, because I'm like, yeah, he is from Indiana. I don't know why that guy, like, totally, like, warped my impression of him. Anyway.
Did you get Manaea on the field?
I got him at the bus, I think.
Okay, yeah, I got him
gotten
inside. So yeah, he seemed like a nice guy, good signer.
Yeah, this card actually would be really nice to get signed. Mets card, it's nice and clean. I got a Mike Trout.
Okay.
Always good. Kershaw, I will say Kershaw's card this year is pretty cool. He has a base card. His card number is 22, which is his jersey number, and it's him saluting the fans, like, I think probably in his last home game. So you know, say what you will about the guy, it's a cool card. Won't ever get it signed, but
no, not unless you want to pay $300.
Yeah, exactly. and probably go into like conversion therapy or something too. But Sonny Gray. Anyway, cool cards. I think they're cool, and yeah, I think they do need a little prepping to get signed, but
Sure.
I like the look of them this year. I like how big the name is. Yeah, it's exciting to have those, and yeah, exciting to get closer to the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean, in your box you got a Josh Young autograph card, so that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, in the hobby box I opened the first pack and pulled a Josh Young a blue auto to 150. So not only did I avoid the relic, getting a relic, I got an actual autograph, but it was a numbered one. So pretty cool.
Hell yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, and that's cool. And I'll have to stop by Ronnie's shop, see if he's got any. So finally, and I guess, hey, if I want to buy cards, I could just do it here too. The Chicago Spring Sports Spectacular is happening March 13th through 15th. We always go to the November one. I've never been to the one in March, but they do have a couple of interesting guys who are signing at that spectacular.
Yeah, I think it's the timing of it is just, it is during this time where we're like kind of getting ready for the season.
Yep.
So it's not as like needed, I guess, as it is in November.
Right.
But yeah, there are some intriguing names. For me, Jack, on Saturday, I'm always looking for like the kind of like the like ancillary baseball guys that they have. And so they have some cool ones this year. They just announced Tino Martinez, which is cool.
That's awesome. I'd love to get him.
Yeah, he's cool. Even that card that they show on the website, his like rated rookie on the Mariners, cool card. I am strongly leaning towards getting the following guy, Kevin Mitchell.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I was looking to see if he has any cards of like the catch, that barehanded catch that he made. I can't really find one, so I was almost thinking about like making like a custom or something. But I was thinking he was the 1989 NL MVP. I was thinking about like maybe getting his 1989 card signed and getting like 89 NL MVP on there. And then Chuck Knobloch too is an interesting one.
Yeah, so those were the three guys that I was looking at too. All players from when I was a kid, when I first started following baseball. All of them pretty reasonably priced too. I mean, Knobloch and Mitchell for $40 a piece, like that's a no-brainer. Even Tino is a little more expensive at $100, but I was just thinking about Tino Martinez the other day, and I was like, I wonder if he ever does signings, because I really liked him when I was a kid. So that might be worth it, man.
Yeah, he's classic guy, I guess, like just staple of the Yankees, and then even coming up with the Mariners. I remember when there was like Edgar Martinez and Tino Martinez, just thinking of both of them like in tandem, but then Tino ended up becoming probably more well known as a Yankee. So and then I will say too, in the forward area, which has been kind of cool lately, last couple card shows, they just have guys who are just there in line and people can kind of come up to them, which is I think the way card shows used to be. They have Denny McLain, 68 world champ with the Tigers, MVP, Cy Young. I do want to get him, and I probably would drop a John Warden on him. Maybe he would throw me in a little extra inscription or something. But,
there you go.
But yeah, I know he's had a checkered past, to say the least.
Yes, he has.
But it would be cool to get him. I know he signs through the mail, but it would just be cool to meet him up close. Especially I would maybe drop some of the things that John Warden has mentioned to me about some of the other teammates on that team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably could get some stories out of the guy. So I think.
Yeah, heck
cool.
yeah. I mean, Jeremy, if you're considering going on that Saturday, I might, I wouldn't be opposed to tagging along and trying to get a couple of those guys. So I might be down for that.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I think that's the day I'm probably going to do it. So,
cool.
John Elway's going to be there, which is cool.
Yes, he will.
Just to kind of get a glimpse of him. It's funny. Sean Astin is there.
Yeah.
What are some other? Just real quick, he had a move to Friday, but that would be interesting just to see. I want to get something Encino Man related signed.
Oh yeah.
By him. But were there any names for you that stood out?
So, Leroy Butler is on Friday. That would be an interesting one just because he was on the Packers when I was a kid, so that would be cool. I also like Sean Kemp too. That would be he's only $60, so that would actually be a great one to get. And then just Sean Young, who was in No Way Out. If you've ever seen that, that would be a fun one to get. She's expensive. She's $75, so that's way more than you would think. She would be, but that's a funny one.
Yeah, the Ace Ventura references there, although it's something that hasn't aged very well. But yeah, and was she in Batman Forever, Batman Returns, one of those?
Was she? I can't remember.
Yeah, there's actually a movie that she's in. What the hell is it called? It's an ensemble cast. She's with Richard Lewis. It's not Blame It on Rio, but it's one of those. It's just like there's a ton of people in it. I think like Kevin Kline might be in it. It's a pretty good movie, but it's her and Richard Lewis. Let me look what movie that is really quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to look here.
It's called Once Upon a Crime.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim Belushi and Sybil Shepherd. It's this weird. It's a weird movie. I remember my mom liked it. When I was a kid. It's directed by Eugene Levy, actually. It's interesting.
Oh, really?
Written by Nancy Myers and 2 other people, but it's a remake of a 1960 Italian movie. But it's a crime movie, and like it's centered around this dog, this like lost dog that's like from like some rich like socialite, like Italian socialite or something. It's an interesting movie, but yeah, it was. I feel like I saw it way too young as a kid, and it was like hard to understand. But Sean Young is in it quite a lot, so.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm seeing it here now. It might be worth checking out. Good cast.
Yeah, for sure. John Candy, of course, too, is one of the stars. So, right. So yeah, that's interesting. It's cool. It's interesting to see like what celebrities they get, like actors and whatnot. So
yeah, or Rudy is there too from Notre Dame.
Yeah. So I feel like he might be at like a smaller show at some point in the future, but yeah, I remember Jack in grade school. He must have come to visit our school or something because we had like a signed poster of Rudy like at my grade school.
Oh, really?
And it was like I think at the time I might not have even been aware that Rudy was a true story. I thought it was maybe just, or like I wasn't sure. I saw it and I was like, did Sean Astin sign that or did Rudy sign that? Like, is there the real Rudy or something? So, you know why that would be cool, Jack, to get to maybe get the real Rudy, is because I don't think I've ever talked about this on the podcast, but I played on a softball league a while ago now at this point, and the guy who ran the league, the commissioner, is the guy who played Rudy's brother in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, the almost like the villain of the movie, the guy who like was like super like doubtful of Rudy and just kind of discouraged him and was like, a jerk basically to Rudy.
Yeah.
That was his that was the guy who ran my softball league. So I'm like Facebook friends with them, and I haven't seen him in a long time, but he's just like Paul Turner, he's just like a local actor.
That's so weird. Did you ever meet him?
Yeah. We used to like go to the bar after like Friday, like after games on Friday nights and talk to him. I remember like I made some kind of like Rudy reference on my Facebook, and he commented like, "I totally get it" or whatever. So it was pretty funny. So yeah, that would be cool to meet. Actually, either one of them, honestly. Probably more so Sean Astin because he worked with this guy Scott is his name. So.
Sure.
Yeah. So maybe we'll have a recap of that in a future episode.
Yeah, that would be fun. Well, Jeremy, I think that's going to about do it for this episode, and I think we were probably going to take next week off, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think just we've been, burning the candle at both ends with all these big episodes, and so it's a little bit of a quiet before the storm. I think once the season starts, hopefully we'll be coming with a lot of recap and graphing, recaps. Every week. So I think we're going to take like next week off just to kind of like settle in before the long run of the summer, and we'll be back, and we'll be 2 weeks closer to spring training and the beginning of the season.
Yeah, heck yeah, that'll be great. Well, for Rain Delay Theater, I'm Jack Swakowski.
And I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Later.